Give an account of various modes of reproductions in radiolophyta. Radiolophyta. वह सब समझ में नहीं आने वाला है. Reproduce, हाँ, radiolophyta reproduce through three primarily mode: vegetative, asexual, and sexual reproductions. A notable characteristic of red algae. A notable characteristic of red algae is a complete absence of flagellated. इसके बाद क्या बोलते हैं, flagellated है ना, flagellated motile cells, flagellated motile cells in any reproductive stage नहलाई, including both spores and gametes. इसके बाद फिर क्या बोलते हैं से gametes. इसके बाद फिर बता रहे हैं कैसे हम modes of reproduction in red algae. Mode of reproduction in red algae. Modes of reproduction in red algae. Vegetative reproductions. इसके बाद फिर क्या बोलते हैं वेजिटेटिव रिप्रोडक्शंस ना है. वेजिटेटिव रिप्रोडक्शंस इसके बाद बताते हैं कैसे वेजिटेटिव रिप्रोडक्शंस इन this is a simple common method. Common method is propagations. इसके बाद बताते हैं common method is propagations ना हला जब common method is propagations. इसके बाद फिर क्या बोलते हैं से बताएं common method is method कहाँ से हले common method of organism कहाँ से था organism कहाँ से है सर of है ना कैसे है common method of propagations, especially in filamentous forms, especially in filamentous forms grows into a new independent individuals genetically identical to the parent. Fragmentations नाले fragmentations. इसके बाद क्या बोलते हैं fragmentations नाले fragmentations नाले fragmentation. These primary methods their primary methods were mechanical force like water currents and or injury causes the thallus breaks into fragments, each capable of forming new plants. इसके बाद फिर क्या बोलते हैं cell division in unicellular forms. Simple cell division allows for vegetative propagations. इसके बाद फिर क्या बोलते हैं regenerate damage hold fast attachment part. Some species regenerate entire the plant body. Asexual reproductions नाले asexual reproductions involves the environments and various involves the environments and various types of non-motile spores. इसके बाद फिर क्या बोलते हैं which rarely नहीं बुलाते कैसे में which rarely on water currents मेजरली ऑन वाटर करंट्स। इसके बाद फिर क्या बोलते हैं, कचल विच रेली ऑन वाटर विच रेली ऑन वाटर करंट्स which rely on water currents for survivals. The spores germinate directly into new thalli and a primary क्या बोलते हैं इसे, and a primary नलाई and a primary means of rapid growth population means of rapid growth populations। इसके बाद means of rapid growth population। इसके बाद फिर क्या बोलते हैं, means of rapid growth population unfavorable conditions। इसके बाद क्या बोलते हैं इसे, मेसोस्पोर्स के कैसे है, unicellular non-motile spores, non-motile unicellular non-motile spore produced within a mesosporangium, megasporangium थे ना, मेगास्पोरेंजियम। इसके बाद फिर क्या बोलते हैं, दे आर सिमिलर organism and which directly grows into new plant, इसके बाद grows into new plant। फिर क्या बोलते हैं, टेट्रोस्पोरोफोर्स। इसके बाद टेट्रोस्पोरोफोर्स नहले, टेट्रोस्पोरोफोर कैसे हले, टेट्रोस्पोरोफोर्स नहले, टेट्रोस्पोरोफोर्स कैसे हले भाई। Diploid carpospores produced by a diploid plant called a tetrasporophores. The meiosis undergoes tetrasporangium. The meiosis undergoes tetrasporangium to meiosis undergoes tetrasporangium to बता दें कैसे meiosis undergoes tetrasporangium to and meiosis undergoes tetrasporangium to yield for haploid spores. Which then grows to male and female gametophytes and female gametophyte carpospores. The carpospore produced by the carpospores produced बता दें कैसे, the carpospores produced by बता दें carpospores produced by carposporophyte stage, produced by the carpospore produced by a carposporophyte stage which develop after fertilizations, है ना, which after fertilizations। इसके बाद फिर क्या बोलते हैं इसे, the spores are released into typically germinate into the sporophyte stage, है ना, स्पोरोफाइट स्टेज, टेट्रास्पोरोफाइट स्टेज। हाँ, इसके बाद फिर क्या बोलते हैं इसे, एंड अदर नॉन मोटाइल्स include spores include includes, है ना, कैसे हमें बायोस्फीयर, न्यूट्रल स्पोर्स एंड कैसे हमें paraspores, है ना। इसके बाद फिर क्या बोलते हैं इसे, sexual reproduction in red algae is highly specialized and advanced oogamous types and involving the fusions of male gametes and with a large non-motile female gametes, then this process is a part of a complex life cycles. This process is often involves ना भाई, तो involves, तो बता देगा जी often involve often involve an alterations of generation of theory, generations of theory, theory of generation of theory, generation of theory, life cycle, nine triphasic life cycles. Example polycythemia, like uh, example polycythemia, sex organs. The male sex organs called the spermatium. The male sex organs called the spermatium, which produce a single, which produces singles. The non-motile gamete called the non-motile gamete called the non-motile female gamete. The non-motile gamete called the spermatomes, and the female sex organs. The female sex organ flex-shaped cavity carpogenum, flex-shaped cavity carpogenum, which has a salon containing a nucleus with an elongated neck, recessive neck called recessive neck called recessive neck called recessive neck called trichogyny. इसके बाद recessive neck called the trichogyny. इसके बाद फिर क्या बोलते हैं fertilizations, since the spermatids are non-motile, since the spermatids are non-motile, since the spermatids are non-motile, since the spermatids are non-motiles, they are passively carried on water currents. They are passively carried on water currents. They are passively carried on water currents, and they are passively carried on water currents. They are unflatted. And savory to the trichogyny to the corpus spongium, and which male gametes include the where where meto where where met where where metotic where met which metotics down and to trichogenum to the carpogenum, trichogenum to the carpogenum and the female gamete with female gametosium, the carpogenal base, which female gametosium is to fuse with the carpogenal base, forming a dipole zygote. इसके बाद फिर क्या बोलते हैं से अधीन हलन लास्ट में कासी हले रसायन फर्स्ट फर्टिलाइजेशन डेवलपमेंट हले ना फर्स्ट फर्टिलाइजेशन डेवलपमेंट। इसके बाद बताते हैं कैसे फर्स्ट फर्टिलाइजेशन डेवलपमेंट बताने कैसे फर्स्ट फर्टिलाइजेशन डेवलपमेंट। The zygote does not ultimate into a free living. The zygote does not ultimate into a free living. Into a free living. The zygote does not ultimate into a free living. The zygote does not ultimate into a free living. In include काशी थले इन राजा थी कैसे काशी ले इन बता जाते काशी ले सर include हले इन काशी थले it's क्या बोलते हैं से describe हले काशी थले it include undergoes mitotic division to form a it include undergoes इसके बाद क्या बोलते हैं ऐसे नहीं भाई कैसे तो भाई inside it undergoes mitotic division to form a parasite कैसे parasite default structure called the corpus which is formed to which is to nucleus fusion to form a nucleus to fusion to form a fusions, and the corpus spirophite produces the corpus spores which germinate which release to germinate to form a free living alena free living that it was spirophite plant, and thus the completing a complex life cycle is complete.